What does it mean to have executive presence? Does it mean that you're cool, you're calm and collected like Barack Obama? Does it mean that you're warm, open, and engaging like Oprah Winfrey? Does it mean that you're direct, no nonsense, and pragmatic like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase? Each of these individuals has very different personalities and communication styles. However, what they all have in common is that they exude strong executive presence. And that's what's so important to know, is there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to executive presence. In this video, I'm going to talk about what exactly is executive presence and 3 things you should avoid when it comes to executive presence. And then I'll end on a positive note and share 3 ways that you can enhance your own executive presence. But first off, if you have ever received feedback in your performance review, hand raised here, like you need to work on your presence, and you walk away wondering, well, what does that mean? What do I do? I think it's important to start with, what exactly is executive presence? It means showing up with confidence, communicating clearly, and having other people believe in you. Think about the leaders that you admire. They likely are pretty comfortable in their own skin. You can understand what they're saying, and you believe in their abilities. You may be wondering, yes, like I want some of that. What should I do? Well, more importantly, what should you avoid? First thing to avoid is performing. A common misconception when it comes to executive presence is that you need to be on stage, whether literally or figuratively acting. You need to be charismatic. You need to be hilarious. All of a sudden, you're a stand-up comedian. You need to be more something other than what you are. What you need to be is prepared, first and foremost. But second, you really need to be settled in who you are. I'm going to share an example from Oprah Winfrey's career. A number of years ago, Oprah was interviewed at Stanford Graduate School of Business. And the interviewer asked her, Oprah, what has been the secret to your success? And Oprah said, I am relatable. During the 25 years when my show ran, it was the #1 rated show, by the way, Oprah said her viewers, her audience could see themselves in her. And think about how open Oprah was about the adversity that she faced during childhood. Think about her vulnerability when it came to her weight. Many women and even men could relate. I don't know if you remember, she pulled the wagon of all the weight she had lost after her liquid fast. Like, she was so vulnerable. And also, Oprah expressed emotion. She said she could feel the pain. She could experience what her guests were going through, and she would cry. As a side note, Gayle King once called her and said, Oprah, you got to stop crying so much. You're crying too much. But her followers could see her as a human being who expressed emotion. When you saw Oprah on TV, you thought, gosh, I bet she's the same person that she would be having a cup of coffee. So for you watching this, it's really important when you're about to present to think, how can I be real? How can I embody all of who I am? How can I embrace my signature voice so I come across as relatable like Oprah, so I come across as trustworthy, so I come across as human? Second thing to avoid is self-absorption. If there is anything that you take away from this video, it's this. It is not about you. It's about your audience. I'm going to share an example. Back in 2010, many of you watching this may remember, depending on your age, there was one of the greatest environmental disasters of all time. This was the Deepwater Horizon oil spill off the Gulf of Mexico. As a result of the Deepwater Horizon rig that exploded, 11 people died. Communities were devastated. There was wildlife that was negatively impacted. BP leased the Deepwater Horizon oil rig, and the CEO of BP at the time, Tony Hayward, issued a public apology. He started out well. I'm sorry. We're sorry. Then he ends with, there's no one who wants this situation over more than I do. I want my life back. Think about how that resonated. I want my life back. You have a British businessman standing in the United States after this disaster that BP was held accountable for. You have a businessman making millions of dollars saying, I want my life back. He did have his life. Think about how this message resonated with the 11 families who lost a loved one. Think about how it resonated with the communities that were impacted by this gushing oil. Think about environmentalists worldwide who were looking at the CEO thinking, WTH, I can't believe you just said that. And I share this example because it really speaks to the importance of self-awareness as well as situational awareness when it comes to executive presence. It's important to understand yourself. What is happening with you in the moment? In regards to Tony Hayward, I don't know him, but I can imagine that he was under the most stress he has ever experienced in his entire life. He may or may not have been sleeping. He may or may not have received media training. And so he goes out there without potentially the awareness that would have benefited him. And then when it comes to situational awareness, there could have been so much more empathy infused in his message, knowing that there were families grieving the loss of their loved ones due to this disaster. And so it's really important to know, okay, what is happening with me? Like, how can I show up and be my true self, but also be my best self in this situation? And how can I ensure that my message resonates with those that will hear me, either in the moment or in this age of virality after the fact? Third thing to avoid are emotional extremes. So you want to ensure that you're not so buttoned up and stiff that you're reading from the slide and you're like R2D2 1 2 3 4 and you come across as AI generated and people are wondering like, who is this person? They don't even seem like who they are. Conversely, you don't want to be so like overly dramatic and emotional that people are wondering, can this person really take control when needed? They don't seem to be in control of their own emotions. And so this is where it's really important to meet the moment. Understand, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being stoic, 1 being overly emotional, expressive, like where are you and what is called for depending on the situation. So for example, let's say you're presenting to the board. Sales are down 25%. And so you don't want to come in and be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. The sales are down. This is a disaster. We're going to go bankrupt. What are we going to do? You come in and you are composed and you say, sales are down 25%. Here are 3 reasons why that is the case. Moving forward, here are 3 things we are doing to increase the sales. You are acknowledging a fact, sales are down. You're being honest, but then you're also being solution oriented. And you're having to tailor your style depending on the audience that you're presenting to. So you may be wondering, okay, I know what to avoid. You told me. What can I do to enhance my executive presence? Number 1, be true to who you are. Just like Oprah, figure out what is your own style? What is your signature voice? Would you feel like yourself? What does that look like? And know the more you can be yourself, the more that you'll relate to others, the more people will trust you, the more people will want to hear what you have to say. Second, you want to make it all about your audience instead of making it about yourself. Really tune in and ask yourself, what is going on with the people I'm speaking to? How can I ensure the language I use resonates with them? What is appropriate for me to share? How can I ensure that my audience knows I care about them? And then finally, third, you want to embrace equanimity. And what equanimity means is being composed. It means balance, avoiding these extremes. Equanimity has roots in the Latin meaning of even mind. And that's really important because as a leader, you want to ensure that you're coming across as confident, as in command, and able to handle whatever comes your way. So I want to hear from you. What is your biggest takeaway when it comes to executive presence, either based on this video or other material that you've come across? If you found this video helpful, I would love to hear from you. If you want to work together on your executive presence. And most importantly, join my community. Please like and subscribe. I would feel so honored to have you along with me on this YouTube journey. Thanks, everyone. Until next time.